Okay, in this video we're going to start with getting it assembled, getting it running. First thing we got to do, the machine's covered in cosmoline or a heavy grease, okay? So that's got to come off. So what I'm just using is a shop rag and alcohol. I'll get alcohol on the rag, I wipe the grease off, and once I get the surface cleaned and that, you don't want to just leave it unexposed. I use this stuff, Volatile. It's a little bit more syrupy and it's pretty good about preventing rust and stopping rust. So once you get the surface clean, just spray a little of this on there, wipe it down with a rag, and you should be good and you don't have to worry about rust. The first thing I'm going to install on the machine are the handles. Got them cleaned up because it makes it easier to move the apron around. And you got two of them in the kit. There's a small one which goes here on the cross feed. And you just screw that in there. I have to see what's going on with that. Okay, they don't quite screw down all the way. I think that's so it floats on there. So you just go till it's tight on that one. And then this one here, I don't know, it looks like it goes all the way through. Okay, now we can move. You see where I cleaned it, it moves a lot better, freer. Now we can move it around. So that's the first thing we're going to put on. And we're going to get it cleaned and then go on with installing the belt, getting the chuck back on, and giving it a test run. Alright, we got all the grease in that cleaned off basically. It's terrible. A lot of people just whine about it. It all wiped off, soaked the rags in alcohol, it all kind of wiped off. Sprayed everything down with a lubricant, protect the surfaces. The machine moves smoothly, freely. So now it's ready. We're going to put the chuck on, get the belt on, and get this thing fired up. First thing about the chuck, always have some sort of board or something, plywood, whatever. This chuck isn't that heavy, but don't ever be tempted to remove any device, faceplate, chuck, or whatever, without having something to protect the weights. Okay? That's number one. Now, we're going to go in. This is D1-4 cam lock spindle on this model. And I'll do a video pointing out all the different features. And that's one of the main reasons I waited 6 months and got this lathe, is before this type of mount, which is unusual on a machine that only weighs 500 pounds. You have to get in them 1,000-pound deals to get it. First screw up in the manual. How this works, there's 3 of these holes here, and this is your lock. You got 2 V's and a little notch on this, and a line here. Okay, there we can see it better. You got the V's. When it came, this notch was somewhere in between the V's, just like it is now. That means it's locked. Now the one screw up in the manual says to turn it clockwise, which is this way, and something told me that ain't right. You know, clockwise is down, alright, in this reference. It wasn't right. You have to turn it up to where, counterclockwise, to where it lines up. So that's one thing in the manual that was wrong, and don't try to force it. It was stiffer than hell. I had to get a little cheater bar on the handle and pop that loose. Okay, so be careful when you're trying to mount the chuck, or dismount or mount the chuck first time around. Okay, the manual tells you to go the wrong way. Alright, so got our chuck. We're going to put it up in here. Basically, you just line up the cams like this. Stop. One past. Slide her up in, and then you'd lock it. I believe, yep, turn it clockwise. Locks. So we got the one locked. And I'll zoom in to show you that. That's the way it came. Down between the little notches down between the V's, it's locked. And you basically rotate it around. Do it to each one. And there we go. Chuck's in. Okay. Now we're going to go and install the V-belt, and again what's going on here with the drive belt, and then we'll try to get it started up and do a test run. Okay, another thing in the manual, it shows you to open this back cover with the old style knob up front. This has the new fancy lift up the lever and give it a turn. The cover comes open. I don't know if we can see it well from this angle. Okay, now the belt isn't installed. So you got to install the belt. And it's in the manual and they word it funny. They do say it about 4 or 5 times. What they're trying to tell you, it says wipe on oil on pulley. It's wipe the grease off the pulley. I thought they said wipe it off the belt. There is no oil on the belt. So this is kind of critical. Do a very good job. Get the solvent, and there's grease packed down in there, you know, and make sure you clean this whole pulley here and down in here on the motor. Clean the both of them off. I guess this is the belt tensioner. So once I get the pulley cleaned, we'll get the belt on and see what we got. Other than that, most of the stuff in here is fairly good, in good shape and clean. Okay, now it's time for the belt. Now, it looks like this is a belt tensioner. The manual does show you this rides on the belt. So, you want to go in low speed. So you got to get the tensioner out of the way. So you go into your MAGIX toolkit with the 14mm. And loosen this nut here. And this thing should swing right out of your way. Okay. Want to go in low gear, so I guess that means big pulley on the bottom, little pulley on the top. And if we went, come on boys, the other way, it would be, let's get big pulley. Little pulley, big pulley would be high speed. So now we want to roll it over to the small pulley on the top, big pulley on the bottom. Alright. And this cover's right in the way, being a pain right in the butt. Yeah, it's kind of critical you get all the oil off the belt, or the pulleys. Like I said, the way they worded it seems weird. There we go. It should be in the low gear range. Tension it a little. I don't know if that's what it should be, we'll find out. Might want to get a good socket set. I'm not an expert on belt tensioning. We will go down a little more. Nice and tight. Alright, there we go. Looks like we got it. So we got the belt installed, tensioner on. Now we're ready to fire it up. Let's get over here and plug it in and get it ready.